Welcome back. It's another Creaky Gamers Battle Report.
Okay, welcome to another Empire vs. Chaos battle report here. And this is my army. This is the fourth game I've played with Chaos lately. And this is the second game with my multiple small unit, no magic army. So I'm just seeing how it goes. So I've got the General on the Dragon, Kivanovich the very angry, and 2 units of Knights, 2 Marauders, 3 Chariots, 2 Dragon Ogres, and 2 Giant Spawns. They're my crutch to hold up big units while I try and get onto flanks. Anyway, we're playing Empire again, and this is total opposite sort of army. He's got a huge block of Knights, huge block of infantry, and a couple of cannons, and a couple of small units of Knights, and a level 2 Wizard. So there's 1 unit of Knights, a Wizard, and 1 cannon. So 2 cannons. There's his big block there, which has got like a warrior priest and a witch hunter and another hero guy in there, I think. So that's a big block of combat resolution. If the priest gets his spell off, they can do 2 damage on their weapons and so on. That's a huge unit of 13, I think, Knights Panther with these General there with the Rune Fang, and another unit of Knights there. And there's the other cannon. So that's his deployment. He's deployed way on his left flank everywhere. So I put 1 Dragon Ogre way out on my left flank, and then I saw he was deploying the other corner, so I had to start deploying over there. So I've got, that's my extreme left flank, my unit of Knights. I call them my Corn Knights, but everything's undivided. I couldn't spare the points to put any marks or anything. No, mark a Nurgle on my spawns, that's it. We have to have that for the regen. And then I've got another unit of Knights behind the woods there. I ran out of places to put things, so they're just going to have to march up through the woods. And Marauders and Chariots out on that flank, and Spawn, Chariot, Marauders. So that's well, now we're into round 1, turn 1, and he's just moved up. These big block of Knights have got drilled and countercharge, so he's hoping I'll charge them and they can fan out and countercharge me. But he's too far away to charge, so I'm just going to have to go forward. So that big block of infantry are going to be hard for me to remove with all my small units. And the big block of Knights with the hero with the Rune Fang. Oh, and here, I used to have a Chariot there. So on turn 1, he shot and destroyed 1 of my Chariots. And then in my turn, I've just sort of moved up. I've tried to jam up his Knights, put a Chariot right in front of them. And so when he charges the Chariot, I'll just flee with the Chariot and hope he fails to redirect or something. But the Chariot's just going to run through there. And then he'll have options to who he wants to charge after that, I guess. Not much I could do about it. I want to get the Knights bogged down with a Spawn or something. And then his other cannon, this is in his turn too. I think 1 cannon's going to maybe knock a wound off or something, but it doesn't destroy another Chariot. The other cannon misfires, so it doesn't fire this turn or next, I think. But yeah, he's just trying to put a cannonball through something, and he might have misfired on the bounce. But anyway, so I've just sort of jammed up his Knights. I don't want to fight his infantry until I can maybe surround them or something. And his Knights are going to charge my Spawn. They redirect into my Spawn. So his Knights are going to drill out and go into the Spawn, I think. So they're going to go in there. And his other Knights up the top of the screen there are going to go into my Marauders. We'll have a look at that in a second. And so I just need to hold up the Knights and then blunt their lances and then counterpunch. So in go the big unit of Knights. This unit of Knights has taken on the Spawn. So there he goes. He's drilling out and he's going into my Spawn there. So that's the charge of the... I think they're Knights Panther actually again. So you never see Knights Panther, or I faced them twice. They hate Chaos apparently. And then his min unit of Knights here went into my Marauders. I just went with great weapons. He kills a few, but then I swing back with everybody with their great weapons, and it doesn't go well for the Knights there. So the Marauders aren't too bad, actually. 16 Marauders, great weapons and shields, so I could do either. And then these guys, they go in. The Rune Fang, he doesn't roll very well this turn, and my Spawn saves a lot, so he does hold. and so he doesn't break through there. Could have been a bit of a disaster if he broke through, but I just had to go for it. And there you see my marauders beat up the knights. There's only one knight left, and they chased after them. And then in my turn, I'm going to get a long bomb charge into his wizard. And so the knights are blunted by the spawn. They don't fail to kill the spawn just. He had the rune fang on his general, which I thought about it later on. I should have just been putting the spawn attacks into his general. And then the other knights go into this spawn. This spawn rolls a whole series of ones to hit and ones to wound, etc. And those knights don't kill the spawn, but the spawn doesn't do much damage back to them. But I have a counter charge coming up with my other knights. Yeah, so that spawn survives the rune fang attack, and he gives ground because he's unbreakable. So he can't really follow up because the other knights are there. So his knights are sort of stuck in no man's land. They haven't taken any casualties by the look of it. They're still in good health, but we've got some counter punching to come. So I just want to whittle them down a bit, so I just take a chance here and just send the spawn in on his own again. Maybe I can kill a few knights this time. I've got to survive that rune fang attack. And then over there, yeah, my marauders, they chased after that lone knight, and they got a long bomb charge. He didn't flee. He thought he wasn't going to make it, and they get stuck into his wizard. So the spawn's holding up those knights, and Kivanovic, the very angry, flies over the top to threaten the rear of the knights, threaten the infantry and the cannon, and that's the situation. So his knights have charged. They've been blunted or stopped by the spawn. Eventually he'll kill that spawn, but I've got counter punches coming over. The other spawn finishes off his knights eventually. So these knights are surrounded, and I was going to commit the dragon into somewhere, but I just need to get rid of that cannon so he doesn't destroy another chariot, because I lost a chariot for no reason. And then here I've made a mistake. You can see the dragon ogre there. He was charging the wizard, but he failed his charge, so now he's in a bad spot, and his infantry is just going to go bang, bang through the dragon ogre into my chariot. Yeah, so the problem with dragon ogres, they're immune to psychology, so they can't flee. So he gets a charge there, into that, and then he's just going straight through into the chariot. So he goes bang, bang, and gets both of those because of bad positioning, but also the dragon ogres can't flee, which is sometimes a double-edged thing, being immune to psychology. You can't flee a charge when you get in trouble. The fight there, the rune fang on the spawn is going on, and he's going to kill that spawn and reform and face the other spawn, I guess. But we've killed a couple of knights. Maybe I think they've got a 2-up save or something as well. Anyway, they're pretty good knights. And he's got that rune fang guy in there, but he hasn't got much defense, like ward save or anything on the general carrying the rune fang. So I should have been putting my attacks into him, tried to get rid of him. Anyway, so his knights are doing okay. He's just going to go straight into the cannon. That spawn's going to go into the knights. If he, so I'll end up with both spawns into the knights eventually. But the knights are hanging around. They're being hard to get rid of. I killed a few this time, and he hasn't quite finished off the spawn, so the spawn's hanging in there. He follows up into the spawn. That rune fang, I think he rolled pretty well. I just kept rolling regen saves, I think. So, and I killed a few knights this time, so we got rid of a few of them. And yeah, that's the disaster for me there, is the dragon ogre couldn't flee, so these guys are going to beat up the dragon ogre. I think they actually kill him. And they overrun into my chariot, so I'm going to lose that chariot as well. So those 2 chariots on that flank, one got destroyed by a cannon, and this one's going to get destroyed by them. But the marauders are still chasing people off the table, so my marauders on that flank did okay. So now you see he has killed the first spawn, but the other spawn is into his flank, and there's less knights now. So we've killed a few of them. But he's killed one of my spawns. So that spawn did its job. He held them up and waited for the cavalry to arrive. And Kivanovic up the back he's destroying a cannon. And these guys, then they kill that spawn. I bounce back. They're going to reform. And then he's going to charge my chariot. This chariot's going to get charged by them. And he kills the cannon up the back. So they make short work of the cannon. And he's going to turn around and come back and help try and get rid of those knights. He's still got his giant block of infantry. So we'll worry about them later. The marauders are coming off the table. So then he's going to charge into my chariot. And there's not much I can do about that. So he's just going to go this way into that chariot and try and get away from my spawn and knights, etc. So he goes into the chariot. He drills, goes into the chariot, breaks the chariot. I think he actually destroys it and overruns. So he overruns. There's his knights. Those two blokes look like twins. Must be twin brothers, the champion and the musician maybe. And he's general with the rune fangs, so they're going to overrun and try and get out of trouble. And then I'm just going to be chasing them. So I'm going to send the spawn and the dragon are now chasing after his knights to try and catch them, get some points there. And then he's got his big block of infantry. No way I would charge them. I haven't got anything. I need to surround them and break their ranks or something. So his big block of infantry are going to survive. And eventually the dragon and the spawn are going to chase down the knights. He's going to run or march away, try and get away, but the spawn actually goes through the woods and pins them in place for a turn. His rune fang kills the spawn again, so he kills another spawn, but they can't get away from the dragon, so the mighty Kivanovich, the very angry, he's going to go in there and finish off the knights and the rune fang guy. So at the end of the game, he's only got that unit of infantry left in the middle. So I do a fun charge with some knights and the dragon ogre into the big block of infantry just for fun to see what would happen. And the dragon finishes off those knights or breaks them eventually and runs them down. So we get rid of the knights and his general. These guys go in there just to see what would happen. My knight champion, the Chaos Knight champion, dies in a challenge. Every time I put a knight champion into a challenge, he dies. So he died, and he's going to break those guys, I suppose. And that's pretty much the end of the game. So, he gets the knights and the dragon ogre. But that was he just had his big block of infantry left. I think my dragon ogre killed his witch hunter. I just decided to start attacking characters in units. You forget to do that. You charge in and think, it'll be easier to kill the infantry. But if you've got something with plenty of attacks, you may as well try and kill the hero or the character, and then that's giving them a buff. So, which I should have been doing with the other spawn on the rune fang guy. I should have been hitting him with the spawn rather than the unit, because the rune fang is what was doing the damage to me. And when I charged the infantry, I decided I'll hit the witch hunter, and I killed him. So that's a little lesson there. If you can, just send stuff in there and attack those characters given the buffs. But anyway, it was a good game. I think my no magic, multiple small unit army is okay. Most people are loading up on magic resistance, etc. So it's going to be even harder to get spells off. So if you can weather the enemy magic, then having no magic seems to be okay. I'm going to see how I go with other armies. Or maybe I'll try and add heaps more magic. Who knows? Anyway, it's just an interesting experiment. Not having any magic was okay. I didn't suffer at the hands of magic, but I didn't face any super heavy magic armies. So maybe I could load up with some magic resistance. Might be a good idea as well. Anyway, let me know what you reckon. So a narrow victory to Chaos, we'll say. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Well, that was different. Yep, lousy, but different.